All right, welcome to River City Labs' first virtual tour. Well, first live virtual tour on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. If you hear any noises in the background, the 3D printer is running, so hopefully it's not too loud and you can hear what I'm saying. You can still hear what I'm saying. While we're waiting for people to find their way over to this stream, sorry about that. YouTube doesn't let you stream from a mobile device with less than 1,000 followers, so we had to find a workaround for that. But if you can, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, and then the sooner we get to that number, the sooner that these sort of things become a little bit easier for us. So again, thanks for being here. But I guess first I'm going to start with kind of what was promised, which is a description of what a makerspace even is. So River City Labs is a makerspace here in Peoria. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. A makerspace, the definition is kind of nebulous, but for us, we're a group of people. We share a workshop, we share tools, we share ideas, and we're a community of people who like to make things. So essentially anybody, if you like to make stuff, then you'll fit in well here. So yeah, but maker spaces in general, you can find them. They're a lot of times they're in schools and colleges and community centers. There are some that are more focused on startups and being kind of incubators, and there are those that are kind of like us that are more just like a space for hobbyists to gather and talk about things that they're interested in and make things and use the tools. So yeah, with that, I'll go ahead and I'll start taking you through the space. So this is what we call our clean room. This is our entrance over here. So you'll walk in through that door, and we have all guests who come in, we ask them to sign a waiver. So this is essentially the room where everything that doesn't create dust and dirt lives. So what you're going to find in here is we have the electronics bench. We've got electronics components. We've got a soldering station over here. Got a couple of oscilloscopes and power supplies and stuff like that. So essentially all the good stuff for electronics tinkering. So if you're into that, you'll probably find a tool that can help you with your project in this area. And if you need me to slow down, or if you need me to go back to any certain spot during the tour, if you're like, hey, I'd like to see that again, or you have a question, just feel free to drop it in the chat. It should come through to me and I should see it. All right, next to the electronics bench, we've got the 3D printing area. We've got one running right now. So we've got 3 3D printers. We've got lots of filament that people kind of leave for others to use. We have a lot of supplies that people have donated and that members can just use kind of as they need, and we just ask that people throw a few bucks in the donation jar if they do use, you know, some supplies that people have donated. So that's the 3D printing area. We got a nice like workspace in here too, with the butcher block tables and everything. We do have a podcasting room / recording area. It's sound dampening. So if I walk in here, you're not going to hear the printer anymore. Right now it's kind of being used as a storage area, but we do have a mixing board and some microphones and stuff. So if you're into podcasting or recording of any kind, that'd be good for you. Over here we have the Humble Vinyl Cutter. It's a good one. It's about 30 inches wide, so it's like a Cricut, but a little bit beastlier. We've also got a bunch of vinyl, so a bunch of different colors, some glitter, some holographic, all that good stuff. This is the PC we use for the vinyl cutter and just general clean room stuff. Got some more supplies over here. We've got some paints, paint brushes, art type supplies, glues, tapes, all that good stuff. And over here we have a sewing machine, and this thing is awesome. It is very powerful. I like to sew, and I watched it in action, and I'll just say it puts a lot of the sewing machines that I've used to shame. So it's very nice. And it's got this cool drop. It drops inside the table, which is kind of neat. So with that, I'll show you our workshop area. This is our workshop, or the dirty room. Essentially anything that creates dust or anything like that lives in here. So I'll give you kind of a panning shot of it. Can you tell I'm not a videographer? All right. So we'll start with the laser cutters. We have 3 laser cutters here at RCL. This one is called the BFL because it's big. It's very large. Our members built it, and it's I believe it's a 90-watt CO2 laser. All of our lasers are CO2 lasers, but yeah, it's very powerful. It cuts through things very quickly, quicker than any other laser that I've used, so it's a good one. We also have some extra materials down beneath it that people have left that you can kind of use for scraps or testing. This is the K40 laser. It's the first laser that RCL had. It has a smaller working area, but I've never used it personally, but I'm told that it works just fine too. So it's also a good one. There's been like extensive modifications done to it too by a lot of our members. It is just it's a normal. I understand that originally like the K40 lasers are kind of a Chinese brand of laser, but this one has had some good modifications done to it by people here at RCL. This is the PC that you use to control all the lasers. This is a Glowforge. This is probably the one that most people have heard of before because it was designed for elementary school classrooms. So it's super easy to use. It's got a web application that you use to control it. One cool thing about the Glowforge is that it does have this camera in it, so that if you put something down here on the bed, it can actually scan it. So like if you draw a little picture on a piece of paper, you can stick it here in the bed, and then you can use the laser to engrave it or cut it. So it's kind of got those kind of features that make it kind of neat. And if you're a person who's not familiar with lasers at all, lasers do stuff like this. This is a piece of wood that somebody cut and engraved. So like as you can see, it can cut through wood up to about 1/4 inch. This is 1/8 inch, but it can go up to about 1/4 inch. Can technically do more, but then you're gonna get kind of a messy edge. So, and they also engrave. So as you can see, this has got stuff engraved on it. This is just someone's test piece, but you got an idea kind of what you can do. A lot of people use them to make jewelry or engrave plaques and signs and home decor. It's really easy to learn how to use, and once you learn how to use it, you're going to have a million ideas. But I guess that's most of the things here. So this is one of our CNC routers. This is a Probotix CNC router. And if you're unfamiliar with what a CNC router is, it essentially has this thing, which is a router like you would use to finish edges on woodworking things and stuff like that. Well, it's got a dust boot on it, so you can't see it, but essentially it's got a little spinning bit in here. You normally would have it in there. Right now it doesn't have a bit inside of it. It spins around and it can cut things. This one, since it's CNC, you can program it. So you can program it to cut wood or aluminum, and as you can imagine, the applications for that are widespread, and it's a very, very useful tool. So. And this is a newer one that was brought to the space. This is a Shapeco CNC router. Another good one. I don't know much about it, but it's nice to have too. We recently got, this is exciting, we recently got a Makerspace VCarve license. If you're familiar with VCarve, it's a software that you can design things for the CNC router essentially in it, and it's very user friendly. A lot of our members use Fusion 360 as well, which is a little bit harder to learn, but you can go more in depth with it. But VCarve and also Cut2D are new softwares that we have that help make using the CNC router a little bit easier, a little bit more accessible. And with those Makerspace licenses, members of the space can load a copy of VCarve on their home computers, and then you do have to come into the space to actually run it, but you can design at home and everything, which is really nice. This is our new dust collection system, which is super. I mean, honestly, I know that if you're watching this, you probably haven't been to the space before, but if you have, then you know that it is a space where dust accumulates quickly. But since they put in this new dust collection system, that has not been so much an issue, which is great. We can spend more time making and less time dusting. So this is our woodworking area. We have a SawStop table saw. This is a fairly new addition within the past couple years. These are very nice. If you ever see the video of the saw where they put the hot dog up to the blade and then the blade drops down and barely cuts the hot dog, that's a SawStop. So essentially it's a great safety feature. It'll keep your keep your fingers intact if something goes very wrong, but it's also just a great saw. So we're super happy to have it. And of course our dust collection system, it's nice, it hooks up to all of our woodworking equipment, so that makes cleanup a lot easier. We've got our planer here. What to say about the planer? It's a planer, it planes. We got the sanding station, which is a very often used piece of equipment. It sees a lot of use. It's very, very useful, very nice, saves your hands. Drill press. Bandsaw. Behind the bandsaw we have the joiner too. It's kind of got some stuff on it, but it's there. Just some nice workspace. You got a new miter saw. One of our members donated, and then people built this awesome cabinet for it. Sorry, I know this is kind of whipping around, so I hope I don't give you a headache with my walking around, but that's our new miter saw. Super excited to have it. Cuts great, cuts super straight. We love to see it. Now I'm going to show you the metalworking area. So we do have a lot of blacksmithing stuff. We've got this nice anvil. We've actually got two anvils. Two forges. Well, actually we have three forges because we have the minion forge here, this forge, and then we've got the baby forge. So those are awesome. And all these tools, actually, one of our members made himself, which is, I'm in awe as someone who does not do blacksmithing or metalworking. It's very impressive to me. Also got this horizontal bandsaw here. It's fairly new. We got it, I believe, last summer. As well as the vertical bandsaw over here. Bench grinder, belt sander, got some vices and stuff. We've got a MIG and a TIG welder here. And if anybody has questions about the metalworking stuff, I will refer you to somebody else because I'm not well versed in this area. This is our Grizzly lathe. And we often get asked, like, hey, can this lathe be used for woodworking? Short answer, not effectively. So this is a metal lathe, so it's going to be more for machining parts out of like out of metal. We don't have a wood lathe here yet, but people have talked about it in the past. So I don't know if it's something that's coming in our future or not. This is our new mill. So if you're familiar with RCL, you would know that we have had a mill that's kind of sat here for a while, not in usable condition. But one of our members gave us this mill. So this is a Grizzly mill, and so on it, it's a CNC mill. So you know how I talked about how a CNC router can, you can program it to cut wood and aluminum and stuff like that. This works in kind of the same way, but it's generally for smaller parts, and you're going to do it out of metals, and it can handle a lot harder metals. So that's our new mill. We also have screen printing equipment. This is a four color screen printing press. We've got some screens as well. They're kind of tucked away, but we've got plenty of stuff for screen printing. So if you're interested in that, we can definitely get you set up. We also have a flash dryer, but it's in the back in storage. It's not very beautiful, so I didn't bring it out for the tour, but it's very useful if you're screen printing. Also in the back, we have a shop crane. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else, but I know for sure we have a shop crane back there as well. This is a mini router, CNC router. I've not used it, but it's in an enclosure. So I assume if you were doing something that you needed to keep a little bit more free of dust, a little bit cleaner, you could do that. Got the powder room in there. It's me. Okay. This is our kitchen area. We've got a stove and an oven, microwave, coffee pot. We also have a screen printing spray out booth area that one of our members made. So if you develop a screen and you need to clean it out, this keeps our walls nice and sparkly clean. But it's also just useful for keeping the water contained, because if you've ever done screen printing before and developed your own screens, you know that it's a pain to clean up because the water goes everywhere. this is the art wall. So if you ever come to RCL, you can add something amazing to the art wall. Beer fridge. And here's some drills and some other power tools where we can keep the batteries close by. So I guess now what I'll do is I'll walk back to the computer and I'll see if anybody has any questions. Just feel free to hit me with them now. So essentially whatever questions you got about the makerspace, about RCL, I will endeavor to do my best to answer them. And you can just drop them. You can just drop them in the chat. But if not, that's okay too. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate everybody tuning in. And this is the first one, so if I do it again, it should be better the second time. So thanks for watching. And if you're interested in joining RCL, I should say this too. RCL, a single membership is $45 a month. A family membership is $55 a month. What that gets you? That gets you 24/7 access to the space after the first month of your membership. You can come in, you can come and go at any time. So essentially you can use the space however you need to. We have a Slack workspace that we use to kind of keep in communication and keep everybody in touch, and it works pretty well. It's a good community. You can get a lot of help there if you have any questions about things, or if you need to pick somebody's brain on a topic. It's a good place to get help. And yeah, essentially, you know, with RCL, of course, you get the community too, as well as all the tools. I know I show off the tools, but you do get a good community here as well. So yeah. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, you can also just email info@rivercitylabs.space. Yeah, we are still accepting new members too. That is something. We are accepting new members now with COVID. I'm the only one in here right now. We do require masks otherwise. So with COVID, we require masks, and we ask that you clean your equipment well. We aren't hosting the Thursday night build nights right now, but we hope to once COVID is done. Oh, questions. Where is the pocket CNC? Oh, that is a good question. Let me go and find that. And Eric, thanks for showing us around. Thank you for watching and joining us. I hope you'll come in for a tour sometime. And Peggy says, do you have a screen exposing unit? All excellent questions. I'm going to show you a few things here. So, let me see here. The Pocket NC. So, one of our new members donated the Pocket NC. I thought it was around here. Essentially, it's a 5-axis mini mill, and it's very cool, and I've never seen it in person. So I'm not sure where it is. But if you look it up, it's called a Pocket NC. It's very cool. This particular member used it for making metal dice, like tabletop gaming dice. So I'm not sure where it is, but if you look it up online, you can see a picture. It is a super cool tool, and we're super stoked to have it at the space. The screen exposing unit, and I'm so glad that you asked, Peggy, used to be right down here. Essentially, wow, this is great. The 2 questions, and I can't show you. We have a big stage light. essentially. We have a big stage light that we use to develop screens. It's around here somewhere. Oh, beside the BFL under the box. Ha! Thank you, Jeep. You know, I almost looked under here and I was like, I best leave that box where it is. Aha! The pocket NC. Here it is. It's the 5-axis mill, so it's very, very versatile. So, yeah. I hope that helps answer any questions that you might have. Yeah, I don't see the stage light around here, but we do have one. I bet you it's in the back, so yeah. We use that to expose screens, and the emulsion that I use with the stage light, it literally takes about 55 seconds to expose a screen, so it's very fast. So it's not a proper exposure unit, but it does work. I mean, it works a treat. I will say that. So, yeah, if nobody has any more questions, then I'll go ahead and I will go ahead and end the tour. But yeah, thanks again for listening and bearing with me with the technical difficulties and everything. And I hope everybody comes in. Once COVID relents, we'll have Thursday night build nights again, and then you can kind of stop in any Thursday and get an in-person tour and meet some of our cool members and have some great conversations. So yeah, thanks again, everybody. Hope you have a good night.